I never really liked mechanical keyboards, and being an Apple fanboy for most of my life and then later switching to PC, I was used to membrane keys. And as a full-time freelance videographer, it felt comfortable to edit with this type of keyboard, to type and do pretty much anything on. I tried switching to a few different keyboards throughout the years, and even bought a mechanical one, like this Keychron K8, but quickly switched back to the Apple Magic Keyboard, and then finally to this Logitech MX Keys S, which is a great keyboard if you like to work with membrane keys. But then Lofree hit me up not too long ago to send over their newest keyboard, the Lofree Flow Lite, and I think this is the one. Lofree did send this over to review, but I was not paid to review this product, so take that for what you will. And this video is my honest review and thoughts, and somewhat novice thoughts on what I deem to be the perfect mechanical keyboard from a membrane user's perspective. Mechanical keyboards can be clunky, and for me, someone who types like a child, I find that the clunky keys of most keyboards get in the way of my typing. I tend to press more keys than I intended whenever I try and type something or whenever I'm editing. Don't get me wrong though, the sound of the Keychron K8 does sound great, but I find the keys to be a little too plastic feeling, and for my taste, a little too high off the keyboard. But this Lofree Flow Lite, however, blew me away. And it's actually aimed for people like me who love the feel of Apple style keyboards, but want the customization and the luxury of mechanical keyboards. And to be honest, I was expecting to feel much of the same from the Keychron whenever I got this keyboard, but I was clearly wrong. So out of the box, you get the Lofree Flow Lite and a USB-C charging cable. That's it, pretty much all you need. It is Bluetooth compatible, as well as comes with this USB dongle on the back if you want to use a 2.4 gig connection and if your device doesn't offer Bluetooth. You can also use it wired if you prefer that as well, with the included USB-C cable. And the overall build of the Lofree Flow Lite is made out of this thick plastic material, but it doesn't feel cheap in any way, which most mechanical keyboards are made out of plastic, so this one's pretty standard. They also have these rubber feet on the back so you can adjust the height of the keyboard, but there's only one setting, either down or all the way up. And then another cool little feature they added is this metallic feeling knob on the back that you can use to adjust the volume of your computer, or if you press it in, you can actually mute your computer. Then like I said earlier, you have a USB-C port on the back, and then this switch to toggle it between wireless, wired, and then to turn the keyboard off. It can access up to 3 different Bluetooth devices, and to do that on the keyboard itself, you just press the FN key and then number 1, 2, or 3 respectively. Or if you want to use the 2.4 gig module, you just press FN and then the number 4 key. So I'm going to throw the spec sheet up here on the screen for you guys to pause and look at. But one thing to note is that the battery life can get anywhere from 80 to 100 hours without any of the lights on. You get about 80 hours with the 84 key and then 100 hours with the 100 key option. And I haven't personally ran into any issues with the battery life yet, or even really needed to charge it, and I've been using it for like a week or so now. To adjust the settings of the keyboard itself, you can actually use their software, which is only available for Windows right now, and I think for Mac they said they're going to come out with a web portal at the end of the year, but that's just something to note if you are on Mac. And that just allows you to have basically full control of the keyboard and to set up custom key mappings. Or you can change the settings on the keyboard itself, which isn't as straightforward, but you can adjust things like which Bluetooth device you want to set to, some of the light functionality, and then you can toggle between Windows and Mac mode depending on which device you're on. And I looked into Lofree having software for their keyboards, and it looks like this is the first time they've actually released that, which is great because you can have full control of your keyboard. But the software that I use was unreleased, so some of the things might change that you see here on the screen. Now, the part that everybody's waiting for, how does this thing sound? And to me, it sounds amazing. The keys feel soft when you press them. Not the keys themselves, they're made out of plastic, but physically pressing them has this nice, soft, cushiony feel to it. And that's thanks to the switches they have installed on here, which are similar to their Ghost low profile switches if you're familiar with Lofree, and that allows for a soft and tactile feel when typing. Some of you mechanical keyboard people out there will call this thocky, so this does sound very thocky. That's the first time I've ever heard that word, but it actually describes exactly what it sounds like. It's kind of weird. So for me, I went with the 100 key option, and I've always personally loved number pads on keyboards. And the cool thing is that this is basically just as compact as the Keychron K8, and the K8 has no number pad. They were able to fit all 100 keys in such a compact size, which to me, I personally love. You get a full keyboard functionality without taking up as much space as a full keyboard. The design is really cool too. It reminds me of like a late 90s and early 2000s style. This is their gray option, which looks the most like that, but they also have pink and white, which look a little bit more modern. So let's go over some things that I don't like about the Lofree Flow Lite. The first thing, and it's really just about the software doesn't seem to be fully fleshed out just yet. You can do what you want on the software. You have pretty much full customization. You can set up macros. You can change a lot of the lighting options you have on the keyboard. You can pretty much do anything you want, but it's just a little bit confusing on the surface, and the overall design could be better. Another thing that I don't like is that the only way to use the software is to have the keyboard plugged into the computer itself, whereas with keyboards like the Logitech MX Keys S, you can pretty much control that keyboard wirelessly without having to try to plug it in. And Logitech software obviously is a lot more fleshed out and well designed in my opinion. But I mean, all in all, it is a great mechanical keyboard, and that's coming from someone who's always used membrane keys. I feel like this is a perfect and great transition from membrane keyboard to mechanical keyboard without sacrificing the customization you get from a mechanical keyboard as well as the feel of a mechanical keyboard. It's hard to describe, but it does feel super close to the membrane style keyboard, and that's thanks to the low profile switches that they have on the Lofree Flow Lite, but it also has that feedback and satisfaction you get when using mechanical keyboards. So the going price for the Lofree Flow Lite is $129 US for the 84 key option, and then $139 for the 100 key option. So $10 more and you can get the full keyboard, which I personally recommend to spend that extra amount of money because I just love number pads on keyboards. But if you do reserve this before the release date of September 18th, you can actually get the 84 key option for $69 US and then the 100 key option for $79 US. But assuming most of you are going to be picking this up after the release date, you're going to be looking at $129 or $139 US. And in comparison price wise, the Keychron K8 comes in at $79 US, and I just feel like overall the Lofree Flow Lite is a better feeling and overall looking keyboard for the price. The extra money you spend on the Lofree keyboard, if you're getting it after the launch day, is most likely for the better switches, better build quality, and better functionality. I also realize there's a ton of mechanical keyboard options out there on the market, especially from Keychron and even from Lofree, but those can get pretty expensive, upwards of $250 US and sometimes even more than that. And we'll say that if you pick this up for the $139 price tag after the launch date, you're definitely getting what you pay for. This is a great mechanical keyboard, and it convinced me to be pretty much a mechanical keyboard fanboy from here on out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you a membrane keyboard fan, or do you like mechanical keyboards? And also, if you do pick one of these up, let me know how you like it. That's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.